A great blast. Okay, so before we begin, I would like to briefly cover a few housekeeping points. The session is being recorded. We kindly request you to keep the microphones muted throughout the presentation. You're welcome to post your questions during the session in the chat box, and Mr. Chirag Dave will be answering to all the questioners at the end of the session. And thank you all for the cooperation. Let me share my screen. Just give me 1 minute and we'll be starting the session. Okay, everyone, just you can give a thumbs up on the chat box if my screen is visible to you. I would request everyone to give a thumbs up on the chat box. Okay, let's start. So the topic for today is managing complex cybersecurity deployments, PMO strategies for the large-scale programs. Let's understand more about the agenda of today's session. So I'll quickly walk you through the agenda. So we'll today cover the overview of managing complex cybersecurity deployments. Today's cybersecurity deployments go beyond IT and involve OT, cloud versions, and compliance, and making them complex, high-risk enterprise programs. So this session will highlight how the PMO coordinates stakeholders, manage risk, and ensure structured execution in the large-scale cybersecurity initiatives. Then we'll be moving towards the Q&A section at the end, where we'll take the questions during or at the end of the session, which will be preferred by the speaker. And we'll close with a short Kahoot quiz, followed by the winner announcement. So So, one thing, the winner of the Kahoot quiz will be eligible for a 1 year PMO Global Institute Elite membership, which is priced at $89, which will be free of cost. So, we'll be having a lot of fun and engaging session in the next 50 minutes, and we'll learn more things about the cybersecurity with Mr. Chirag Dave. So, before we go, I would request to make the session more interactive. We would love to hear from you. You can please access this Slido. Just scan the barcode and let us know from which city you all are joining from. This will help us understand about our audience, reach, and the engagement. I request everyone to just scan the barcode and just give the answers. Okay, we are just waiting for the answers. Oh, that's great. People are joining from UK. Oh, from Pakistan. We want more answers. Oh, from US also we have people joining in. That's great. That's great. Everyone, please just give the answers. Okay, that's great. So we have our participants from all over the globe. That's so much exciting. Okay, Ghana. Everyone, please just give the answers fast. Okay, people are joining from India. That's great. Mm. I hope everyone has given the answers. You can just give a thumbs up once you have given the answers. We'll just move to the next question. Okay. Let me move to the next question and just we'll quickly hand over to our today's speaker and we'll start the session. Okay. So here is the next question. I would request everyone to just scan the barcode and just give the questions, answers to that. So, what comes to your mind when you hear the term about the cybersecurity? We would like everyone's engagement here. You can give your opinions here. Okay. Everyone, we are just waiting for the answers. Okay. Once everyone has given the answers, just you can give a thumbs up on the chat box. You can react. We'll just move to the next portion. Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you everyone for your wonderful responses. We'll be moving to the next session. So now, it's my pleasure to introduce to our speaker today, Mr. Chirag. He's a senior PMO transformation leader with over 25 years of experience in delivering complex enterprise programs. He currently serves as a PMO manager at Hexagon Asset Lifecycle Intelligence, where he leads strategic program governance across cybersecurity and operational technology environments. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Chirag. So, Mr. Chirag, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shivangi. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so let me share my screen and just let me know if my screen is visible to everyone.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So welcome again, and thank you very much for joining this interesting session on cybersecurity, managing a complex project of cybersecurity. It's not a project, but a program, and where and how the PMO strategies and governance make this happen. Okay, so that is what the subject today. I will take around 25 to 30 minutes of this. If you have any question, put it on a chat box, and at the end we will take up all the questions. Okay, so with this, little bit about me. This is me. Okay, I'm basically instrumentation and control engineer. Uh, I'm having altogether 26 years of experience in managing a project program and portfolio management, having multiple projects and program execution on airports automation, aviation fueling, gas stations, metro and monorail automations, delivered 3 refineries, control system automation on cement, soda ash, soft line greenfield projects, and multiple petrochemical complex. Have an opportunity to establish a PMO in one of the organization where I worked previously and delivered project in more than 35 countries. And right now I'm based out of UAE, and basically I am from India, Mumbai. And why this topic today, okay, on the cybersecurity? Because I was currently handling one of the cybersecurity program across 17 countries, and countries are spreaded from China to Canada. So it is like a 24 hours. And here where the complexity and importance comes in. Okay. So what we will talk today? Today we will talk on the two particular areas, right? So because if you see the topic, our topic is managing a complex cybersecurity deployment. So first word comes the cybersecurity. And the second word is how the PMO governance makes this happen. So, what is a cyber? In a security, we know what is a security. It is a protecting of something, right? But what is a cyber? I know I have seen your responses while you were answering the QR code. that most of you have answered. It is a threat, it is a risk. So basically, word cyber is anything which is related to a digital world. Okay, when digital world comes, cyber comes into a picture. Okay, and what commonly people knows about cyber is IT cyber security. Okay, but our main topic today, I would like to emphasize on a OT cybersecurity. Okay, so just to give you a little brief on IT and OT, IT is that IT cybersecurity is where we protect the computers, servers, our mobile, tabs, and all infrastructure which is related to IT portion, okay, information technology portion. Whereas in OT is an operational technology, where operational technology covers the control systems, DCS, PLC, SIS, historians, and people are little less aware about OT part of the cyber security, but that is nowadays most important for the industrial perspective. On a general perspective, we all know while we are doing a bank transaction, net banking transaction, okay, that is called the cyber transaction. When we are using a mobile or when we are using a laptop, that is a cyber asset for the IT. Similarly, when we are operating any plant through any control system, okay, as there are the DCS is one of the example of control system. You all who are from the industrial background, Honeywell, Yokogawa, Schneider, Emerson, these are all the control system companies, right? So those devices, those called the OT asset. Okay, so basically, this is the little higher view on the cybersecurity. See, this topic is very large, and it is definitely not possible to cover all the aspects of this particular topic in 25 to 30 minutes, but we will try to understand. So this just setting up the context. This is the basis of cybersecurity and execution and governance of PMO perspective. So we all know the project management perspective, right? But I just want to give you a little more beyond project management perspective. I want to give you on a PMO perspective, right? Where we can create a difference, where we can make our point to manage such kind of a complex cybersecurity deployment. Okay, so basically, cybersecurity success today depends on how programs are managed, not only what tools are used. So, in a mobile or in a laptop, when you install your antivirus, you feel that I have secured my laptop or on a mobile so that I will be secured from the attacks or threats, right? Like that, on a industrial part, on OT, we need to deploy some software, some tools, right? But that deployment, that tool, just it is not the case of deploying at one place. Okay, so that comes to our next portion, that why this topic is important today. So why this topic is important today? Because cybersecurity nowadays is not only a software. Okay, so when I'm discussing, I'm just keep in mind I'm discussing everything on an OT perspective. Okay, IT perspective, more or less we all know that we should not answer, we should not respond to any of the OTP request, we should not click onto any of the unwanted or unknown link, we should not respond any of the emails. So these are all IT perspective. I'm not touching today. Mostly I'm touching today on a industrial perspective. So why this industrial perspective cybersecurity is important nowadays? Because cybersecurity is not only a software or a tool like a control system or like any other tool we deploy in our plant, but cybersecurity nowadays become a matter of credit, matter of reputation to any of the company. Okay, and when there is not much knowledge or awareness into the field about any particular tool or any particular means which is securing the OT, people have a lot of misconception and confusion that how it is to be deployed. And mind it, cybersecurity is not that the one particular company have a one plant, they will deploy it one plant. They will deploy multiple plants, right? and their plants spread it geographically at multiple places, multiple countries. And that makes these things worse and complex. So why this topic matters today? Because if you have heard some of the examples, there was a WannaCry attack in 2017. That attack was on all the hospitals of America, and that costed 8 billions of loss. Okay, one guy may have some issues, and he was a super cyber expert guy, and he spreaded this attack. That attack was WannaCry. Lost 8 billion. Multiple surgeries were postponed. Multiple damages have happened to the people and the assets. NotPetya attack again in 2017, 10 billion. Marriott hotel attack. All the data of all the guests were stolen and it was misused. Okay, and that reputation of Marriott was at stake on that time in 2018. It was costing more than 10 billion again to that group. In 2011, there was one big attack in one of the refinery in the Middle East, and that was kind of a APT, advanced persistent threat, that attack name was. And that kind of attack was somebody can implant any malware and that will trigger after a year or months on an exact date. Very, very difficult to identify, right? So this is how now this cybersecurity has become a most important and business point of view. In 2025, this business was $213 billion business as per IT Pro magazine data. And its CAGR, this business is expanding at CAGR of 14%, which is more than any of the automation business, which is growing at 9 to 11%. So on a business perspective, this particular topic is most important. At the same time, industrial safety perspective, it is most important. So cybersecurity is not only a software tool as a part of plant or a live operation, but more than that, it can save you from the disaster. And at the same time, in a second, it can create a big disaster. So with this, I will just little deep dive into this topic, that what makes cybersecurity program more complex. So as like all other program, all other projects or other portfolios which you might be handling, multiple stakeholders, multiple technologies, always evolving threats, because we have a lot of smart people across the globe, right? And they keep on evolving threat. At the same time, the industries and technologies are keep on evolving how to protect that threat. What does it mean? That means this cybersecurity program will be always evolving, right? And zero tolerance of downtime. So any of the process plant where there is a production of any petrochemical or a refining products, you cannot tolerate there is a downtime. So our deployment are having these threats. Moreover, where this program differs from the another programs, okay, here is the last, which is regulatory pressure. Here now every country has their own cybersecurity standards. Every country are designing and defining that all the plants or all the companies must comply the cybersecurity standards developed by respective country. Of course, those are aligned with the international standard of ISA and ISO. But this is the most important, and which is actually differentiating from the other programs which you and me might have handled in the past, like automation of the cement plant, automation of petrochemical plant, automation of refinery. But in that, regulatory pressure is at one level. Here, it is at government level. So program and portfolio are always complex, which is a given fact, okay, but a systematic approach. So now when we just add a flavor of PMO approach, how this can be handled seamlessly. See, there is a no project or no program you can handle seamlessly, because the problem is equal to projects, right? And that is why the project managers and PMO managers are exist. So bringing that to what, why PMO, traditional PMO structure struggles in such kind of complex environment, because traditional PMOs, we focus mainly on the scope, schedule, and cost. That is, of course, it is very much required. But if we focus something else, we may have a better result. Okay, so why we struggle on a traditional way? Because of we have a fixed plan in a dynamic environment. As I told you, cybersecurity is ever evolving solution. It is ever evolving technology. And in that, you also need to keep changing your plans, your execution methodology, your way of delivering the result inside the plan. Limited authority on a risk decision, right? So when you as a PMO nowadays, see why we all are gathered here, because we just want to spread the awareness and importance of the PMO, right? But so far, if you see on a reality, PMO has a very limited authority on any execution, right? And so basically, advanced PMO practice can make life easy by giving more authority to PMO and governance. So in a traditional PMO, or what PMO mechanism right now, we are looking at all other organizations where if we impose little more authority to PMO and deploy that governance, this traditional method we can overcome and we can deliver a better result. Instead, now, traditional PMO, let us think on a cyber aware PMO. Okay. So, cyber aware PMO, where this differentiate from the routine deployment or execution. Our focus must be on the risk driven governance, right? So, what is a risk driven governance? Risk driven governance actually is basically on when you have to be adaptive, you have to be more agile in terms of decision making, where risk is not an input but risk is an output set. Because normally what we are doing, we are evaluating the risk, assuming mitigation, and schedule our work accordingly. Rather than that, we if we deploy a gate or phased approach, where next phase only progress when we find the mitigation of the already envisaged risk. So risk driven governance is one of the major important thing. When we go to the risk driven governance, it comes to the adaptive or agile planning. And again, that definitely this is by default, this has to be aligned with our business strategies. And this is an enablement. In strategic PMO role, we know that we do not have a decision authority, much decision authority, right? But that also to be enabled so that PMO have a more authority and PMO more focused on particular deployment. So basically, PMO, if we think it's not an administrative role only, I'm not talking here the role corruption that we pitch into someone's role, but it is a role enhancement I'm talking. Okay, so PMO, we have to enhance from administrative to excel into the subject. When you are delivering cybersecurity, at least PMO should have that knowledge of the cybersecurity. When you are delivering pharmaceutical program, you should have that pharmaceutical knowledge, so that right now people have understanding in a market. Okay, that project manager can work in any industry. Yes, he can work, he can deliver. Similarly, PMO can work in any industry. Yes, but emphasis here, what I'm trying to tell is, if PMO has a cybersecurity aware PMO, then they can deliver more efficiently and more effectively. So basically, the bottom line is training, coaching, and delivering. You get train yourself, you coach your team, make self-sustain on the knowledge, and deliver the result. So what is our strategic role here? Okay. So our strategic role is convert strategy to the execution roadmap. We are all expert in designing strategy, right? It is very easy to discuss, but when you put it into the plan, okay, then it becomes a very difficult. Sorry. Okay, so it is very difficult to put those strategy into the execution roadmap. Here, PMO role comes in. Okay, define priorities based on risk. What usually we are doing, we are defining our priorities based on customer need or based on our project progress or our program progress, right? Rather than that, go and check your priorities based on the risk, because in a cybersecurity, risk is not only the delay of the execution. There are another risk which you cannot see, which are the threats. While you are deploying, your asset is at risk. While you are deploying, your asset is not safe from all other type of threats which you even don't know, which is evolved yesterday, right? So define priorities based on risk. Provide executive visibility. I just next slide I will come to that, because any program or any portfolio becomes successful when your organization leadership is focused on that. They have a great support towards that. Okay, I'll come more detail into that in the next slide. But same time, balance speed versus security versus stability. So just do not focus on making your progress good on your ASCO. That is definitely necessary. At the same time, just make that your whatever you're deploying is really deploying on a secure way, because when you are deploying cybersecurity solution, you yourself need to be secure, right? While you are deploying in, you are touching the live system, hot system into the plant, which is actually producing the production. And there you have to be very careful while deploying on the security perspective, at the same time stability perspective. So with a strategic PMO, cybersecurity remains a plan, never a reality without strategic PMO, right? So we need to have the strategy with PMO. So to structure large scale cybersecurity program, what we need to do, this program needs to be divided into many work streams and to be released as a work stream. As I told you, cybersecurity programs are not limited to one geographical location. All the projects, all the programs are distributed across the countries, and you have a lot of challenge when you change the country, the culture, the nature, challenges, and and the compliances, government compliances are changed as you change the country. However, you are the one PMO who has to handle all those, and at the same time maintaining a standard, okay, so that your deployment, your philosophy remains unified all across the plants or the assets where you have deployed your solution. So clear governance layer, because every country has different governance mechanism, different compliance. So you structure your large cyber program in various work stream. You define very clear governance. Who will talk to who will be technical on technical front, contractual on contractual front, legal on a legal front, and compliances on a compliance front. So you define a clear governance layers, define decision authority, because everyone, if start taking decision, it will go in a chaos mode. So give a delegation of the responsibility, at the same time give them a authority also, and provide clear escalation path. Otherwise, escalation will go unnoticed and things will not happen. So basically, the systematic PO gives a structure to complexity, turning large program into a manageable and coordinated work stream. So these are a small, I'm just touching a very higher level on the structure, okay, because there are lot many things. I'm just giving a very high structure. There are a lot many things. So now here comes the risk centric and execution. Okay, what is risk centric planning? So risk as an input and not output, as I told you before. Threat based prioritization. So when you are deploying your solution in a gas plant, you should have a different priorities. When you are deploying in a refinery, you have a different priority. When you are deploying in a fertilizer, you have a different priorities. So you should know which are the major threats. For example, hospital infrastructure is different than the refinery infrastructure. And at both the place, you have different threat priorities, right? You should know which priority I should be managing first, because cybersecurity have many layers. For example, inventory, right? So all your asset, let us assume that in one hospital or one plant, there are thousands of servers, there are thousands of historians, thousands of workstation, engineering station. So first, when you know what are the inventories you have, you can secure them. If you don't know, what you will secure. So basically, cybersecurity have multiple layer like inventory management, vulnerability management, because which asset to protect in which vulnerability. Uh, like MRI machine in a hospital will have a different kind of vulnerabilities compared to the safety system in a plant, right? So you should know this kind of a priorities. You should know this kind of a threats. Then you deployment risk versus operations. So as I told, in a hospital, your risk and your operations should be different, as well as in a plant, which is a cement plant or refinery, it should be different. And you should have a continuous assessment. So this is the methodology. I'm just trying to again touch on this. There are a lot many other parameters where the risk centric planning and execution have, because our normal planning, we make the WBS up to level 6, divide it into the various tasks and work streams, and then we start tracking our project. Rather than that, change the methodology little bit, add a PMO centric execution, add risk based management, and then you will literally see the result. And this is my experience, which I have faced a lot of problem. I have again adopted this kind of a mechanism and saw the result. Okay, focusing on risk keeps the program aligned with the real threats, not just planned tasks. Right. With this cybersecurity, you see this figure, this cybersecurity, this PMO guy, the poor fellow has to look at all lot of things, right? Where you, when you are deploying this program, you need to find, you need to just look at this actually security, all the IT levels also all the government compliance, plus there are a lot of stakeholders, okay? Your own bosses or organization leadership and business alignment also. So basically, multiple vendors and integration of challenge, integration challenges. You have multiple system like SIM, like access based control. So these are also like CCTV, all those kind of also security, and you need to have integration of all this. So that those challenges you are facing. Contract versus execution misalignment. Contract always is a trouble for a project people, right? And there is always a clauses which is preventing you from your free hand, right? So that is a misalignment, but you have to. And PMO as a coordination role. So basically, effective stakeholder, if you do a effective stakeholder management, then you can keep moving whole your program with lot of ups and downs, but it will move. It will have a clear velocity, and you will keep seeing the result. You will keep seeing the milestones are getting cleared one by one. This topic is a little bit my favorite topic and very important, where you all know the change management, right? What is the change management, right? Anything which is change from the define or agreed things, right? Like a scope, people, person, place, anything. But what I'm trying to tell here is only change management is not important. That is where the cyber aware PMO will play a greater role. Only change management is not important. Only getting a change order is not the PMO priority. Maybe that can be the project manager priority, but for PMO, that has to be a different. And this is the word adoption. Okay, what is adoption? Adoption is when you deploy anything new. For example, you brought a new equipment at your home or in your plant. People normally resist, right? That what is this new? It was good. We are anyway operating plant since years. Why these guys are deploying something new? It will have a human resistance. It is human psychology. So, and that is a change. So I'm talking change management of change, and change management is a two topic. But I'm talking here the change management where you are changing the whole system in our organization. You are using SAP. You and tomorrow your ERP is changed. People will have a resistance. It was good. Why people are changing? Why management is changing? So cybersecurity is again a new change in an organization or in a plant. People will have resistance. It will create a lot of resistance. You cannot put up your pen drive, you cannot take out your data, and then people will get suffocated. Okay. So PMO responsibility comes here. You make people aware, you make them adapt of the change. So here I'm telling a little bit different than the routine execution that play your role as a PMO manager to make adoption better than deploying the change. Change is already deployed, or you are anyway how to deploy because it is a project, right? So this is a very important line. Change management enables the shift, but adoption is what makes the shift successful. So anything, any new solution or new technology, when you deploy, it is very obvious that a human will have a resistance. But PMO as a role, you need to make people that adapt so that the shift or the change in the environment is become adaptive and welcome by everyone. Here is the difference you can create. Second difference, what you can create as a PMO is make your executive aware about what you are doing. Because any of your project, any of your program, you if you want to make a successful, your leadership, your organization leader should be in favor of that. If they support, your program will run smoothly. I will give you a very simple example. Very simple example that if one product have a product issue, one software, let us say this Microsoft have a bug, okay, but the organization top leadership of Microsoft, if they don't care about that product or they are not focused on that particular program of Windows OS which is having bug, they will not pour sufficient money in the R&D of that. They will not pour sufficient efforts or not pour sufficient skills to resolve that and make that product more stable. So important is as a PMO, you should make your top leadership aware with the risk reduction indicators, compliance readiness, and control maturity. These are the parameters by which you can make your top leadership aware that what you are doing. So when executive gets right insight, they give right support. Strong executive decisions depend on strong PMO driven visibility. So here our role comes into a picture. What are the common pitfalls? Very common pitfalls are, as like all other programs, these also have a very common pitfalls, but I will tell differentiator here. So tool first approach, weak PMO authority, poor integration, these are common that you all know, but this is the fourth one is different. Ownership post go live, right? There is no ownership in terms of if you are a vendor side, okay, you think that, okay, I have delivered the project, then my job is over. But then it is still PMO responsibility to make that post project, post go live, what is a mechanism that customer keep using this solution? Because cybersecurity is not that you pay me some dollars, some millions, I deploy and then it will keep. It is not a television, right? That you buy, you install at your home and it will keep working. No, it has to be maintained. You need to create a lot of synergy inside your plant, inside your organization, where people start using it and people maintain it. You need to create a separate department. You might have heard the term CISO, right? Cyber Information Security Officer. So that CISO has to be aligned with PMO in that case, so that ownership remains, and whatever you have deployed, whatever change has made, whatever people have adopted the change, that will remain as a new normal, rather than it will run for a few months and then it will die its own death. No. So basically, big pitfall comes from the poor planning, weak alignment, and assuming security ends at goal line. No, no. This is where the PMO has to play a bigger role. So, what are the key success factors? Of course, empowered PMO leadership. So, change in a PMO mindset, make a PMO role more strong, more technology aware, change the mindset of the people that it's not an administrative job. So yeah, again, see strong CISO PMO partnership. In your if you are a vendor side, then also you can have this role. If you are customer side where you have deployed this to secure your own plant, then also you have this role. Agile governance and continuous communication. Okay, these are the basically the key success factors. So success comes from empowered PM. Again, leadership in all this. If you empower PMO, automatically all this parameter will taken care. So this comes to the last slide, and all my speech will comes to the end here with the key takeaway. What are the key takeaway? Cybersecurity and execution challenge. It is not an easy program to deliver because it is number one. It is not that uh, installing one tank or one pump or compressor. It is not visible. Number one, there are a lot of soft angle. PMO bridges strategy and reality. That is the second takeaway. Strong governance enables the resilience. So basically, success in project, program, and portfolio is not an easy, but it's not that difficult too if proper PMO governance is established. With this, I thank you and I end my speech here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
what
you
will
so
say?
much, Mr. Chirag. Yeah, for your valuable time and insightful session. We truly appreciate your engaging discussion, practical insights, and the clarity you brought to the topic. It was great learning experience for all of us, and it was grateful for your support and contribution to making the session successful. Now, I would like a very warm welcome to our CEO, Mr. Abdullah. We are truly honored to have with him with us today. Your leadership, vision, and guidance continue to inspire and motivate us, and we look forward to learning from your insights and perspectives. So, over to you, sir.
No, thank you, Shivangi. I couldn't resist myself to come on the session and say special thanks to Mr. Chirag, right? So, that was a brilliant pitch. Trust me, it's a very, very difficult topic, and most important topic, to be very frank. The age of AI is here. The threat of cybersecurity gone above the radar, right? So, can I request everyone, please, come on the video for a minute, just for a minute, and let us join our hands to actually, to give a special round of applause to Mr. Chirag. Everyone, please, 1 minute. Everyone, please come on the video. We also be taking one group pictures together as well, right? So I see Lisa as well, Craig as well. Monica, yeah, nice to see you, Monica. You here. Mr. Salih is here. Zakia Sultana is here. Everyone, please come on the video. Everyone, just 1 minute. Wow, I see all the beautiful faces, right? So fantastic. Yeah, so let us join our hands to give a big round of applause to Mr. Chirag Dave. Well done, Mr. Chirag. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Lot of inputs I have taken, right? Risk is considering to be an input. Very, very important. This is what we always do, right? Yeah, and also you said, the execution challenge of cybersecurity PMO projects, right? So with this note, I will just leave it to, leave it to Shivangi as well. And thanks a lot to Mr. Chirag. But please, Mr. Chirag, don't leave because the audience will be having a lot of questions regarding this. I would request you to take a couple of questions as well, right? Thank you once again. Take care of yourself. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah, sir, for sharing your insights today. So, moving forward to conclude the session, we have a short Kahoot quiz to make the things engaging and fun. Please join using the Kahoot code displayed on your screen, which will be displayed shortly. I'll be sharing my screen. And the top scorer will be receiving a 1 year elite membership from the PMO Global Institute, which is valued at 89 USD. So the quiz will be consisting of 10 questions, which will be shared shortly. Just keep an eye on the screen. I'll sharing the questions shortly with you. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Just give a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen. Okay, that's great. So I request everyone to join using this scanner barcode. You can use this barcode. If the barcode is not, you are not able to scan the barcode, just join at www.kahoot.it and you can just enter the game pin and start the game. We are looking forward for everyone to join the session and have fun. Okay, we have 7 to 8 people join. We are waiting for everyone to join the session. It will be a fun. Okay, we have Lisa with us, we have Tamanna, we have Sham, requesting everyone to join the session with us. Okay, so we have many people join. Just a second, I'll be sharing my screen again. Okay. Just give a thumbs up on the chat if you have joined the Kahoot quiz with us. Okay, so let's start the session. We'll start the Kahoot quiz and everyone waiting for your answers. Starting with the Kahoot quiz. Everyone, so first question is there on the screen. Okay, so we have got 10 answers, waiting for others to just give the answers. We have 20 seconds for per question. Okay, now let's see the scoreboard. But that's great. Addy is on the top scoreboard. Now let's moving to the next question and let's see. The next question is on the screen. Okay. Okay, so we have got 11 answers waiting for others. Okay, now let's see the scoreboard. Oh, okay, that. So now we have Chauhan on the top. Okay, let's keep an eye on the scoreboard and see who will win a chance a 1 year elite membership with us. Next question is on the screen. Okay, we have 5 answers, waiting for others to just give the answers. Okay, let's see the scoreboard. Okay, we still have Chauhan on board. Let's move to the next question. Fourth question is on the screen. Everyone, please give the answers fast. Okay, so we have 14 answers till now. moving to the scoreboard. Okay, so the new member in the top list, we have Noshin with us. So now let's move to the next question and see. This is the fifth question. We are halfway down. Okay, we have got 15 answers. Oh, let's see the scoreboard. Okay, we have a new member who's on the top list. It's Trish. Now let's see who will be just winning this PMO Elite membership with us. The sixth question is on screen. Okay, we have 14 answers till now, waiting for others to just give the answers. Okay, let's see the scoreboard. Okay, Trish is still on the top list and we have second highest Noshin. Wishing everyone all the best. We have the seventh question on the screen. Okay, waiting for everyone to answer. Let's see the scoreboard. Okay, we have Trish still on the top list. So it's the second last question. We have just 3 questions left. Everyone just give the answers fast. We'll just check the scoreboard. Okay, let's see. That's great. We have Noshin, which has like highest answer streak of 8. That's great. So 2 more answers left. Let's see. Ninth question on the screen. Okay, 14 people have already given their response, waiting for others. Let's see the scoreboard. We have Noshin on the top. Congratulations. We are moving to the last question and let's see who will be the winner for today. Okay, 14th answers given. Let's see the scoreboard, the final scoreboard. Okay, on position we have Chauhan. Let's congratulate him. Second, we have Trish. And first, we have Noshin. So congratulations to our quiz winner. I kindly request the winner to share their email IDs in the chat box. And I would like Noshin to just come on the video and just we love to give you a cheer up. Request Noshin to just come on the video. Congratulations.
Super.
Hi, Noshin.
So I will take a few of the questions which I have received on the chat box. We have a few minutes left. So Shivangi, if it is okay, I can take some questions which are on the chat box.
Yes. Yeah, I would request Mr. Chirag to take over the Q&A session.
Okay, so I will first answer the questions which are already placed on the chat box. So I will take from the bottom. Ravi Kiran has asked that which type of threats and attacks are in cybersecurity? Interesting question. So in cybersecurity, there are approximate 13 to 14 kind of threats which are known in the market. Example, As I told, an example of a refinery, which is APT, Advanced Persistent Threat. Okay, that is a one type of threat. There is another threat which is called man in the middle, MIT. Okay, MITM, man in the middle. So this kind of threat is intercepting two people's communications in between. That is called the man in the middle. Another kind of threat is called the disruption of services or the prevention of the services, DOS, wherein it creates the full traffic jam, okay, and it stops all the data flow. So all the services get stops, okay. Another is a malware attack where like Trojan, the virus, these are called the malware kind of attack. Phishing attack, which is basically very popular in IT field. So there are other 13 or 14 attacks where particular to OT, this APT and DOS and man in the middle, these kind of threats are more popular, but there are other threats which are not popular and which people doesn't know it. Okay. So basically, these kind of threats ultimately prevent you either to do your operation or to run your business. Okay. Second question from Zakia Sultana was asked, any KPI for adoption metrics? Yes. Actually, there are multiple KPI for the adoption metrics. So what is a KPI? KPI is which is smart, measurable, and tangible number, which shows the result of your particular instance or an activity, how it is adopted. So for cybersecurity, adoption uses an engagement KPI, that is the first, wherein just to give an example, that if you have 1,000 user of the cybersecurity or assets, okay, so number of active users by total users into 100, just an example. So that gives you a KPI of the users and engagement KPI. There is another KPI you can use, capability and readiness. So people have capability to understand this, because in your organization you have many people, right, who are doing administrative job. For example, your commercial people, your accounts people, your HR, they are absolutely far distant from a technology, right? So adaptivity, right? So that is also another KPI, that adaptivity and readiness. Then process and behavior change KPI, because you will see a lot of psychological change when something new comes into your organization or plant. Okay, so that KPI also you can measure. So these are some KPI which right now comes into my mind uh, uh, as an example. There are more, of course, and you can also design few more depending on your plant and depending on your organization processes. There was one question from Susyam Prakash Agrawal, the risk as an input. Interesting. Like to know how. Okay, so like to know how. So this is also a very, very interesting question, wherein, as I told, risk we consider as an input, not an output, right? So for example, while we design the deployment of this complex cybersecurity program, what my meaning of risk as an input is, you think that the strategy or governance risk, right? So which kind of governance model you want to adopt, that you take as an input and design your program accordingly. For example, it is limited to one country, multiple plant is a one input versus one plant in a multiple countries, right? So your governance mechanism is little different. That is one. Second, compliance as an input. For example, if you are deploying your cybersecurity in, let us say, Saudi Arabia, then you have to follow a different compliance compared to you are deploying your cybersecurity into a China. In fact, there are some words, some terminology you cannot utilize, right? Depending on the country's restriction. So that you take as an input and design your program, right? So compliance as an input. Second is asset-based risk input. Now, you have asset which is MRI machine. At the same time, you have asset as a PLC, right? Consider that as an input, find out the risk for that, and design your philosophy of execution. So my meaning of conveying that rather than risk as an output, consider risk as an input. And these are few of the examples which came in my mind. I hope, yeah, there were 3 questions. So anyone has any other question which I will try to answer at best of my capability. These were the 3 I got on a screen. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Chirag, for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. Thank you, all the participants, for active engagement and sharing a valuable participation. Now, I would like to congratulate Nausheen for winning the
Yeah,
quiz.
sorry, I missed one more question from Sanoop. What is that? What are the industrial cybersecurity standard critical and important to follow? Okay, good question. So in industry, there is a IT cybersecurity, there is a OT cybersecurity. For IT cybersecurity, it is 62443. I think this for OT cybersecurity 62443 standard. For API, which is oil and gas, I think it is API 1164. Okay. And for IT, I think it is ISMS. Number is 27001, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So these are the industrial standard. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that question. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chirag. So now I would love to hear a few words from Nausheen, you. So the floor is yours. You can just unmute and share a few words with us.
I didn't expect to be having to share a few words. But thank you very much. That was really interesting. And thank you, Chirag. I think that was, I think what you covered within the cybersecurity area was pretty interesting. The only thing I wanted to add, or maybe a question, is you mentioned about once the program ends, the cybersecurity process or management doesn't end. How we do it here within my team's project is we tend to transition our projects into the service and then kind of transition them into BAU. Create the processes as part of the project and then hand them over. And in that way, the project naturally will come to an end and it's part of our project closure. So that's probably the only thing that I didn't really understand when you said it doesn't really end, because for us, a project has to end. That's the whole reason it's a project.
Correct. So see, that definitely for the project manager, as I told, project manager, that should be the priority, correct? To close the project. But it is a PMO where they can pitch into here that when you transfer this to the services or a maintenance team, okay, you can ensure that the maintenance contract in place valid for some years, number one. Number two, very strong, which actually I missed in my execution, but I learned with hard experience. You suggest a residence engineer from your side because they are not so expert in your solution, right? What you have deployed. So better, that will be very economical solution for customer. At the same time, for you, it is an ensured business and it is a complete win-win. So that's the one parameter which I would like to suggest here, that ensure AMC is in place for some years and suggest residence engineer, so that responsibility doesn't end at project closure and doesn't end at go live.
Yeah, I think any SME that we have on our project will tend to be the person who then owns either the risk or the system or anything like that. And that's who we would generally transition it over to. Yeah. Well, but thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nausheen and Mr. Chirag. So I kindly request Nausheen to please share your email ID in the chat box. And thank you.
I have to you. Sorry, I don't want to say your name wrong. Shivangi, I have sent you something privately.
Okay, I'll just say thank you so much. So thank you everyone to all the participants for the active engagement and a valuable participation. We look forward to welcoming you to the future PMO Global Institute community sessions. Have a wonderful day ahead and thank you once again. Thank you everyone.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.